Hi loves, it's Lacey and welcome to our space. So I know everyone has moved on to Valentine's and spring DIYs, but as you can see, it is snowing here in Michigan. And so I came up with the idea to make a 3D giant snowflake. And I know Dollar Tree has all of their Christmas stuff half price, so you can make this too. Here are the items I'm going to be using. I have this coupling. It is PVC coupling in the plumbing department at Home Depot. I already had one in my stash, as you can tell. And it is a cross. It has a four-way connection that has 4 holes in it. I'm also going to be utilizing some of this fishing line. It is 12 pounds. And of course, I am using Dollar Tree Christmas trees. Now, some of these I already had in my stash, like the green top one. But the newest one that's on the end here, it has little ornaments on it so you can tell it's different, and it says $1.25 on it. I'm not going to be using that one, but I'm just letting you know I'm using the older version. It comes out of the pack with the legs here and the small part that helps it holds up. Keep these because you know I'm going to figure out something to do with them at a later date. This tree is a thick piece of metal at the bottom, and all of the branches that come out are on the same level at the bottom here. And then there is a big space between them, and then the next set of branches will come out all at the same level. See, here's the space. This is what it'll look like at the bottom. There are 9 branches on these, and we're going to be using one of them to cover up that thick space. But all the way down, that's how this works. And tree is exactly the same as that one, except for the pipe part is a little longer. Now the other tree here, as you see, I can stick it into that metal pipe piece. It is not open in the bottom. These are the brand new trees, the ones that have the ornaments on the box. And there are only 4 pieces at the bottom. And they're actually not on the same level. 2 pieces are on one level, and then there's 2 pieces on top of it. And they don't have a big white spot. It's actually got some of the branch part around it. And then you pull down the next level, and there's only 4 too. And actually, like I said, on the bottom level, there's 2 on the same level and then 2 the level above. So we are not using these trees for this because the way I'm figured it out, I need to use the old trees. So if you have the old trees in your stash, that's what you use for this. I went to the stores and I looked at 5 different Dollar Trees in my area, and they had both the new trees. That's the one at the top. See how it looks fuller around? And the old trees at the bottom. I think this, though, will probably be the last year for the old trees. So they're half off right now at Dollar Tree. If you want to make this, you could go get them. So here's what they look like, the old trees. And that kind of cording in the middle is annoying. So we are going to take one of these little branches from the bottom and wrap it around to cover that up. See? And then we're going to do the same thing all the way up the tree. Take one of your branches and wrap it around that middle part. Now, this project takes 10, yes, 10 of these Christmas trees to make this giant 3D snowflake. I have 14 of the trees. I suggest you buy 11 trees or take 11 trees out of your stash if you can still get these. I'm trying to figure out how to make it with the new trees. It's going to be kind of the same process, but you'll see the reason why I'm using the old trees for this. Then I bend the top over and I make sure you can get your finger through it and just twist that. And this is what it's going to look like. It's perfect and it works fine. So then all we're going to be working with to start with is the bottom section of these trees. So do this to all 10 of the trees that we're going to use in this project. The 11th tree is extra just in case we need some more branch parts that you will cut off to use on this tree. Okay? So this is what it should look like at the bottom. 8 branches because you used the 9th one to wrap it around. 2 are going to go north, 2 are going to go south, and 2 are going to go east, and 2 are going to go west. Remember that. And then you're going to need your coupling. This is a PVC coupling that's a 1/2 inch, and we are going to cut off the bottom of this metal tube. I'm using linesman pliers or leverage pliers. I just grab them down. I'm not very strong. And then you can twist it back and forth and you can see that it broke. And then I just peel it off. Now be very careful. It is very sharp. I'm going to put glue on the ends of all of the sharp edges and cover it all the way up so I don't cut myself with this. Then once that's dry, completely dry, I am going to take this one and I'm going to put it inside one of the sides of the PVC piping. It was just a little bent, so I'm straightening it out. It's going to go inside of that coupling that's open on 4 sides. Now, here's another thing. I have Ryobi hot glue. I'm using my mini glue gun. Don't put the glue in and let it drip through and touch your hand. You will burn yourself. I have Gorilla hot glue with the Ryobi glue gun. I don't know what I said a second ago, but then I'm going to stick this tree inside one side of this and hold it until it dries. Don't do it how I'm doing it because the glue can run out of the tube and hit you in your hand. Here again, I'm putting glue in and tipping it. It looks like it's tipping towards my palm. Don't do that because it can drip out. Now, each one of these trees that you cut the end off, they can all be different lengths because they're from Dollar Tree. The quality control is not like great. So I cut them so they fit in where I need them to go. That one was cut a little bit longer because it was a little shorter to start with. I know this video is quite long, but I let everything dry. So it's sitting there and drying probably 15 minutes before I moved on to the next step. So then next, you're going to cut your next one a little bit longer. Like, I think I take about 1 inch off of this. And when I cut this off, maybe 1.25 inches, I am then going to bend the piece that's left on a 45-degree angle. And it started to bend on its own there. It's still kind of covered with the cording that's on it. So I'm not going to glue it because it's not metal sticking out. But then we're going to put that in so it's at like a 45-degree angle. And I already did this one and put glue on the end. And so 2 will fit in the bottom here. We're going to call it north, south, east, and west. So we are at the south, one of these coupling holes, and we're going to fill that with glue, and I hold it for like 2 minutes for it to dry. And I'm using Gorilla hot glue. So you can put E6000 in there too if you want, but it's really not necessary. So now here I'm showing you, I'm going to unpeel all 8 of these and show you, you should have 8. 2 are going to go north, 2 are going to go south, 2 are going to go east, and 2 are going to go west, like I say. I'm showing you that because we're going to pull them out just like that on the ones that are glued in. And we're starting with the 2 that are in the same tube. Make sure you only have 8 and that you've done the one wrapped around, or else it'll show. Then do the other side of that one. These are the 2 that are in one hole. I'm trying to make this as easy to understand as possible. Once you do that, you're going to connect the trees that are right next to each other. This whole project has 10 trees. All the trees don't connect to each other. You only connect the trees that are right next to each other. So the 2 that are in the same hole need to be connected together. And how we're going to do that is we're going to take one branch from each tree that are the closest to each other. 2 of them are going to be the closest to each other. And you are going to twist them together. So I'm trying to show you here that I have these 2 in my hand and I'm twisting them together. They're right across from each other. See? And I'm going around them. And I'm doing it kind of loosely just to have it together. Once I get them both twisted, I'm going to do the other side now. You can flip it over, or you can just turn it like this and twist those two together. Those two trees are connected to each other. All the trees that you are going to use are going to be connected to other trees like this. And now that I have them both done and setting the way I want, I'm going to tighten down the twists a little. So you can see here, those made them thicker. Those two sections are thicker. And those two trees are connected together. But both of those trees are also next to another tree. Okay? So now we're going to connect these two trees together. We're going to open this other one at the bottom and only work with two trees at a time. Don't try to have all of the branches out on all of them. You could get confused and they'll just be in the way. So I'm putting 2 north, 2 south, and 2 east. So this is the bottom, that would be south. This is going to be whichever direction it is for you, east or west. And then 2 are going to go up to that tree. So here's the 2 we already put together with this tree. Now we're going to connect these 2 trees by twisting the 2 that are closest to each other, 1 from each tree. If you have too many branches out, you might connect 2 that are with the same tree. So be careful with that. So these 2 trees are connected there. And we're going to flip over and connect these 2 trees. Put that one for that tree and this one for the other. And twist those together. And it doesn't make a difference if they get a little shorter. You will be able to see that it is 2 branches twisted together. Okay? So now that tree on the bottom on your left there, it's connected to the tree at the top by it, but it's not connected to the other trees, the other 2 that are on your right now. It only connects to the trees that it's next to. So all these other branches that are coming out east and west, we haven't put those trees on yet to connect them to. I hope everyone understands that. So now we're going to go over here and open the ones on this tree and put 2 east, 2 west, 2 north, and 2 south. We're saying the opening, and remember to make sure that you covered those. You should have did all of those in the beginning. But I did have one of mine that I didn't cover, so I'm reminding you guys. That's the last time I'll remind you of that. Okay? So now I just connected those. There's no reason to show it to you again. You should be able to get that. You could actually kind of leave your snowflake like this, where all the branches that weren't the bottom ones kind of stick out like that. And all the ones that were the bottom ones are going to connect together like this. And you will be able to like just fluff them out after they're all connected. But we only have 4 trees on here, so let's put 2 more on. But you can see there's 2 here at the bottom, 2 coming out over here. There's 2 here for these bottom trees. And you can tell which ones are connected to each other because they're thicker, like these. Okay? I know. Some people are like, I get it. I don't need to hear it again. But I didn't want to have a million questions and people be confused. So this is how we're doing it. All right? So now I'm going to put on the other side. Same thing, except for I'm going to glue these together because I don't have a way to set it up. And then hold it. It's like a minute and a half I hold that. I sped it up. And then I'm going to glue it into the other one. And now you don't have to worry about dripping glue unless you just drip glue on yourself. It won't come out the other holes because they're all plugged. And then I hold it in there to have it glue together for a little while. And then this is what you have. So now let me explain exactly what you're going to be looking at. So to this tree right here, it's connected to the tree that is next to it on the right and the left only. The other 3 trees won't get connected to it. I put a zip tie around it so these don't get in the way, so you have a better visual. And this is going to be the last time I would go over it, just in case someone doesn't get it. You're going to have 2 that go to this tree and 2 coming from that tree. The ones that are the closest to each other, you're going to connect them by twisting them together. The same thing here. You're going to have 2 that go up, you're going to have 2 that go down, and then 2 that go left and right. So north, south, east, and west, like I said. So that tree with the zip tie is going to connect to both trees next to it, and the tree that's going to go at the top, and the tree that's going to go at the bottom. But we're not there yet. I hope everyone understands that. Okay? So we're going to connect the 2 over on your right now. We're going to peel all these down, and you can flip it over like I did so you can see better, if that helps you at all. Pull these out and pull them all out. Don't just pull out the 2 that you think are the closest to each other. You just want to make sure you have all of them out. Then you can see exactly which 2 are the closest to each other. Okay? And then you're going to twist those together. And do the same process we did before. I did all of our connections with these trees. So there are 6. These 2 connect to each other. And then these 2 connect to each other. So like taking it around for a wheel, that's how they all connect to each other. But that's only 6 of the 10 trees. So as you can see here, I have this one twisted together. Then I have 2, 1, 2, that are singles, not twisted together. Right there. Then I have the next one that is connected together. These go straight across, but connected. Not connected, not connected, connected. Not connected, not connected, connected. Not connected, not connected, connected. Is this annoying? I'm sorry. But it's every other one, because all the non-connected ones are connect to 2 trees that are going to go on this side. And then we're going to flip it over and connect it to 2 more trees. So the side with no writing on it and no holes in it, that I'm going to call the top. And then this side does the same thing. This is the bottom. There really won't be a top and a bottom, because you'll be able to hang it any kind of way you want. So these are different. As you can see, I cut one tree down almost to where the tree starts, and the other tree, I bent that one at a 90-degree angle, and I'm going to glue them together like this. And I'm going to hold them for quite a while, like 2 minutes. Sorry, I got one of my hairs in there. Like 2 minutes until it dries completely. And you don't need to use a stronger glue. I skipped part of this. We're going to glue that in between, on top of the top, and they need to face the direction where there's single trees. They can't face the other way where they're in between double trees. Do you get that? Where there's single trees out to the east and the west, that's the direction these need to glue, with them pointing east and west. And I'm just going to hold it for 2 minutes until it dries. I sped it up and I cut some of it out because it's going to look like it wasn't very long. And then we're going to peel down all of the bottoms of those trees and connect them to the other trees. This is why you don't need that much glue. This is why you don't need a stronger adhesive. Because even if they weren't glued together at all of the twisting them together will hold them in place. And it will make it very easy to fluff this and to move them around so it keeps the shape of a snowflake. Because in the end, you're going to have to store this some kind of way, and it'll probably get squished quite a bit. And you'll have to fluff it like a Christmas tree every year. Like an older Christmas tree, because I know the new ones, you don't have to fluff as much. So I am first connecting the two that are next to each other together at the top that we just put on, and then I will go to the two trees that are like probably east and west first. That's what I think I did. And then go and connect the diagonal ones, because you're only going to have a few things left. All right? So that's what I'm doing here. Do the two middle ones first, and then pick a side and do the sides next. I hope everyone understands this, because it's such a cool DIY, and I really loved how I worked it out for these older trees. And you can let me know if you want me to work it out for the newer trees. So now this one here down to this one. And you can keep all the extra branches out of the way and zip tie them if you want, but once you see it and once you get it, it's not necessary. So now, since the bottom trees are already connected to other trees, you don't have that many branches on the bottom that you have to worry about. You only have the ones that are going to connect to these top trees on here. So go ahead and start twisting those around. They'll be evident of where they go, because the top trees can only go down to be connected. And you can see which ones are already doubled up. So I'm going to do all of these and then show you how to do the other side. All right. I grabbed this large vase from Dollar Tree. It's in their plus section. You can grab any vase. It just fits in here perfectly. And I'm going to squeeze those two medium ones down. I'm going to bend them over a little and push them into that container. Then I am going to take glue, hot glue, and put down my last two. I already connected these two together because you saw that I did the last ones on the other side, because there's no way for me to hang it to put these on. And I thought this is the easiest way to do the other side, because most of the time it was just sitting on my desk. So these two middle ones are already connected, because you know you have to connect those two trees together. And then I'm just holding them to be glued down. And I sped this up, and I also cut out some parts of it. I start fluffing out the bottom tree branches, because we know we need all the bottom tree branches to connect them to the snowflake that's going to be all put together once we twist all of the other ones together. And look, there's hardly any down there to twist, so I can hold on to this and twist them at the same time. So make sure you have two that go together and just go ahead and twist them, and then this thing will be fully put together in the shape of a snowflake. I hope this isn't confusing to anyone. If it is, YouTube has in their settings where you can slow this down. I turned down the volume because my voice will be super slow, but then maybe you can see it better with it slowed down. Or you can just pause it, try it. If it doesn't work out, rewind it and go back. It's not that hard. I told one of my girlfriends that doesn't do crafts, and it took her a second, but she picked it up. So make sure too, the other thing that I didn't tell you is when you put on those last few trees, they still need to go in the direction of the trees that are only in one hole. If you put them on wrong, it won't look like a snowflake. Okay? And then now here, it's really up close and it's kind of off camera because I hung it from my camera stand that's above me. I filmed from above, and I'm just fluffing these out. Fluffing all of the trees out. I'm not going to make you watch me do that, because then my husband came in and said, "Why are you hanging it this way? Why don't you hang it from my workbench in the basement?" So we're going to move down there now. It's actually really funny because I looked all over my house for somewhere to hang this, and then he suggested this. So as you can see, and those lights aren't flickering for some reason. With the light in the basement, it makes my lights flicker on camera. I already put one strand of 50 long lights on here. I literally ordered from Amazon a 200 strand of lights, fairy lights, to put on this, and they came in pink. So I re-looked at my order, and it said they were supposed to be cool white like this, but they came in pink. And then when I told them, they refunded me, told me I could keep the pink ones, but they were out of stock on the white ones. So maybe they'll be in stock for you now because I did this over the weekend. So I'm just putting them around each branch. They are 50 lights on each branch. And this is what it looks like outside. It's snowing. It's freezing here in Michigan. And I mean, freezing in like the teens. But this is while it's snowing and the wind is lightly blowing. And it turned out exactly how I wanted it to turn out. I'm in love with it. I can't believe that it actually worked out from just the thing in my head to this giant snowflake. And it's pretty darn big. You could probably actually make it bigger if you didn't cut off any of the pipe that's at the end, but they were all different sizes, so I think this works out fine. I simply put the battery packs inside and I wrapped them with some extra branches from that 11th tree I said I was going to be using. So I do suggest you buy a 11th one if you want to hide the battery pack real well. And this is later in the night when it was like 8 degrees outside, and I love it. I would have preferred to have more lights on it, and so I probably will order more lights to put on it. But I absolutely love this, and it spins on its own just because the wind comes in on our porch. This is hanging on my porch over my glider. Please excuse my dead plant there too. But I have 3 hooks up there, so I think I'm going to try to make 2 more and hang them at different levels. So comment down below and let me know, will you make one of these if you have the stuff in your stash or you find the trees at Dollar Tree for half price? But that is it for this video, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye, loves.